Good morning and happy blessed Friday. When I was younger, I had this very immature stance whenever I was in a relationship with someone and they challenged me. Instead of me being able to take what it was that they were trying to give me towards my own personal growth, I would immediately become defensive. And in my defense stance, my reply would be, love me or leave me alone. And I laugh at it now because what I realized was there was a lot of fear in the unknown. The fear of not knowing sometimes keeps you stunted and in the same place, very stagnant. And as a woman now, I can completely and totally understand when someone was trying to encourage me and to push me past my comfort zone because it was clear that they saw potential in me and even saw the greatness in me or just saw things that I could not see in my very limited life experience and limited self. Um, and I also realized through my relationships that it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. And that determines if someone will be able to receive the messaging or if they will become defensive. I think when you make it a conversation and a place of like reflection, someone's able to explore it with you rather than feel like you're picking them apart. Um, so that's one aspect. Another aspect of relationships that I thought about were how, as parents, we model for our children their the types of relationships that they will seek once they move beyond our home. And I feel like I was always very careful about who I brought around my son. His father and I, we did our relationship together didn't work out, and so we went our separate ways. But we tried to learn how to manage and maintain a level of respect, communication, and integrity towards each other because our son was always watching. And what that means is always watching. I call it rabbits in the forest have big ears. Whether you live in the same home or not, your kids are soaking up the verbal and nonverbal ways in which you interact and communicate. And I've heard different people and different kinds of relationships, but this one particular saying about they were staying in the relationship for the sake of the children. And I always just, it never set well to hear that. And I am all for being able to work through issues and saving families if they're salvageable. But I'm also very clear that I have never seen a relationship that people said, I'm staying here for the sake of the children, um, work out well in the end. Meaning, if your children are watching you, they are learning from you the things that you say and do or don't say and do, how to be in relationship when they become adults. They're children now, but they'll be adults very soon. And when they enter into the world, they'll be looking for the same things that you modeled at home. And so, with that being said, you have to be careful about staying in relationships that aren't working, that might be stagnant, and never ever ever say for the sake of the children. Because if that is the case, children deserve to know and see what it feels like to be happy. And they learn through the ways in which you show and express happiness. And they watch body language and they see people smiling and they see people laughing and they can feel joy. And just like they can see people laughing and feel joy, they can see the opposite of that. They can feel the negativity or the hurt or the pain. They can feel the stuckness. They can feel the sadness. And so, and or watch the ways in which you verbally or non-verbally communicate. So think about all your relationships. Think about the ones that you expose your children to, because at this age, they don't have a say in who you're in relationship with. but they are learning. And when they learn, again, they will one day be adults. And those adults will then either gravitate towards the same familiar relationships they saw growing up. Some might be a little bit more emotionally intelligent and be able to piece out and separate what they saw growing up and say, hey, I didn't like it when I saw my mom and my dad do this, or I didn't like it when I saw my mom or dad argue or fight, and therefore I won't fight the person I am with, or I'll never raise my voice to the person I'm with, or I'll take some space because I don't want to harm the person I'm with. Again, we are models for our children and just young people in general. And I encourage you to be in relationships where you learn how to communicate effectively, you respect one another, you don't call each other out of each other's names, you honor them whether they're in your face or in your space or not. I love you. Thank you for listening. Happy Blessed Friday.